So here we have from our locals, Anthony, who is the uh, yellow Vegito player over here, and he's going to be playing against Black Hatchiyack.
Thanks for having me.
All right, this was a match against Christian. I believe this was the last round against Black Hatch. Yeah, and Christian is one of the best players in our locals. Loves playing black decks, so he'll play decks like Cumber, Gogeta Zeno. Hatchiyack is one of his favorites. So this is going to be a great game. And this is your first time using this Vegeta deck, this Goku Vegeta deck, right?
I picked it up halfway through the local, and I decided.
Oh, yeah. Great. And first impressions on the deck?
It's definitely strong. I don't know if it's better than Trunks Vegeta, just because, having that barrier blocker stunner card plus barrier removal where you draw off of it is just always going to be strong. But this leader also has some really neat effects it has to itself, so to be determined.
Yeah, and Jack's leader is basically like a Nimbus for battle. So, and here's the Bardock Unison right over here. Such a strong Unison. Just draw a card.
So annoying.
Yeah. Now, I noticed you didn't have a turn one play. Is that normal for the deck?
No, usually you either cast the Vegeta just to draw a card, or you'll cast the Gabito Kai, and then you proc the effect to search the deck to make sure you have a Spirit Bomb in there.
Got it. So how does the Spirit Bomb card work for a lot of people who aren't familiar with the deck? Is it like a field that starts in? Is it something that comes in later? Or is it something you have to draw into?
So you actually just take it from the deck. So here I am just awakening. The second you hit 2 energy, it's mandatory. You have to awaken.
You're
so
forced
you take
to.
Up to. Yeah, you take down to 6, you draw 2. Now, you're going to see a misplay here, I believe. What I was supposed to do first was immediately use Activate Main to play the Spirit Bomb from the deck.
It automatically plays it. Wow.
Right. No, I make a mistake right here, and I swing first.
Yeah, I mean, it's what the first locals you're playing with this deck, so it's fine. It happens, and it's a yellow deck, so anytime it comes to yellow, as long as you're not really using most of your energy, you miss sequence here and there, you'll be able to catch up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My inner red player was coming out. I was
just going full aggro. Yeah, no, 100% exactly. And this was a really interesting match because this is the first time we see, Christian utilizing his new secret rare. So we'll see that later in the game. But over here we have the Vegeta. I love this Vegeta. I use it in my Vegito deck as well. It's just the 1 energy draw 1.
So strong.
Yeah. And in your deck, it's actually a 15k body, right?
Yeah, and here is me recognizing that I was supposed to play the Spirit Bomb first. So Chris and I are actually having a little laugh about this, where I'm like, oh, it has only 4k power because there's no Spirit Bomb, so let me just activate that real quick.
All right, and then you activate the Spirit Bomb. It's going to come in. And what does the Spirit Bomb do? What are the card's effects for Spirit Bomb?
So this card's actually really good. I thought it was just mid, but so essentially it procs your leader. So you'll tap it, look at your top 3, take a yellow battle card and place it under it. Then your leader procs. So once you place it under it, you can rest the battle card on your opponent's side. So it offers really nice control.
Got it. Yeah, it's really good. You can tap any battle card, right?
Yep, any battle card. It doesn't ignore barrier, but any battle card.
Yeah. And over here, you're pressuring against the Unison. Was that correct? You swung leader at Unison, and now you're thinking if you're going to swing battle card into Unison, right?
Yeah, I'm considering where I want to put the damage because that Unison, it's strong. It's going to plus him a card every turn. And it's also it has the floodgate effect for the minus effect. So I kind of want it dead, but at the same time, I need to pressure his face because he's one of the older leaders where he just awakens. He doesn't have to cut down life. So trying to take on Hatch from 7 life is a little tough.
So you strike leader over here just to take him down. And yeah, Hatch is one of those leaders that doesn't have to take any life when he awakens. He just goes flipped over whatever life is there. So it's good. And we see Christian's playing the new Cumber cards. Those cards are fantastic. And
it's so much better in Hatch than it is in Cumber.
Yeah, I was literally going to say, our buddy Wiseback was literally saying that, how the Cumber cards feel better in Hatch than they do in Cumber itself, especially that 6-drop. It's so strong. Such a good control deck. And over here, you're reading the Slug.
This is how little I know about Hatchiyack.
Yeah. So that Slug is basically removal. Anything greater than your current energy. And he also has the 8-drop Cumber. Now, he's charging the 8-drop Cumber. The reason why is because the auto only procs if you're a Black Saiyan. He can still play it for 2 energy, but it's just a 30k body, right? An 8-drop that can get over his leader effect.
Yeah, which is super strong for him because that's really all he needs.
Yeah. And he's got all those Oceanus. He's got Smoke Dragon. This is just such a control deck. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm the one playing yellow.
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, like, oh, I can let this go long. The longer, the better for me.
I did offer you launch. You didn't want to take it.
That's fair.
You want, but it makes sense. This is a new deck. New opportunity. You get to try it out. So he swings for leader, 20k over here. You take the damage, right? Go down from 6 to 5, which is good. And here comes the brand new set 20 card, Cumber. And you can see you're reading it because obviously it's a brand new card. So you want to explain what this card does?
So it's snapped in a short term. It's a 1-drop 90k dual attack that gives one of my battle cards Servant.
Yeah.
So essentially he limits one of my attacks for the next turn and he puts on a lot of pressure. So the card's really good.
And I assume he gave Servant to your Vegeta, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so Servant is a keyword skill that says you don't restand during the charge phase. So basically that Vegeta is stuck in rest for the next turn, right? And that's huge because it's just Hatch's way of controlling it. Says you have even less swings. Now if you want to get another swing, you have to pay body and pay an energy to get a body and swing. And here's the Realm of the Gods Kamehameha. So now, correct me if I'm wrong. Does Robotic Riposte energy cost also reduce based off of extra cards on the field as well?
No, and I had to double check to read that. It does not. I was hoping Spirit Bomb would help, but no. That's why I did that thing.
Right. But I think the Goku, the one you Z-charged before, I think his energy cost does reduce, right?
I'm actually not sure off the top of my head. Yeah. I'm not sure if it's worded, because Riposte is worded that it has to be in energy and drop. I'm not sure if...
Yeah, and here we have a Black Mass Saiyan. So how much does this actually affect this deck? By the way, this was a best of one pre-side, so I'm sure he sided into that. But how much does that BMS affect this deck?
So it doesn't. Not really anything, because first of all, the leader just taps it down, and if I need to, I'll run it over.
Oh, that's true. You're right. Yeah.
His intention was to stop my Dynamic Duo, Ultimate Duo card, but it's 20k.
Yeah, it's 20k.
It only makes me discard 2 if I'm playing something using a non-keyword skill. That's 15k. So it's a 20k. He found out later it wasn't the best side. But
and here's a Dynamic Duo. This card is so strong. 1 energy, 20k double strike, negate a battle card skills in rest mode, and KO. Wow.
So good. I played games against Gotenks earlier in the day. Old green Gotenks, and he had 6-drop in rest mode, and I was negating his heals to kill it.
Yeah.
So he doesn't get
the Grim Reaper of Justice. Yep. And here you're using the Spirit Bomb's effects to tap it. Okay, you're waiting, and you're swinging with lead, draw. Yeah, to negate Gotenk skills is amazing. They don't get to add the Trunks and the Goten back, so you just basically prevented them from netting hard from their fusion. So yeah, this card's fantastic. We were also talking about how it's great against, let's say, 9-drop Sin. Great against cards that have indestructible, cards like that, right? The card is absolutely a staple in this deck. It has a 1 energy negate, and that's really what Hash does. Hash just negates everything, man.
Yep.
It's crazy. And it's tough because unless you're a deck that has a reliable counter, like blue or yellow, you're just going to get hit hard by negates every single time with Hatch, right? And I would assume you're playing this deck uses Cooler. It's a yellow deck, right?
Yeah, we definitely play Cooler.
Yeah, we have to play Cooler. It's a staple. Yeah.
The question is only ever how many Coolers are you running?
So did you whiff off the Spirit Bomb, or did you put anything underneath?
I believe I whiffed, actually.
You whiffed. Wow. So probably old extra cards, or probably cards you didn't feel comfortable putting underneath, right?
No, I straight up didn't have a target.
You didn't have a target? Wow.
Yeah. But I think they were all extras.
They're all extra cards, yeah. Which makes sense when you're playing yellow. You're a extra card heavy deck for your robotics, for your steadfast, for all those guys. So I think you're just gonna pass over here. Is there any other play you're gonna make?
I think I end up just passing, which is this is me learning how to play, remembering how to play yellow a little bit, because I played a lot of yellow earlier in my DBS career, but I've been a red player for a long time now.
Well, I don't know if you remember your hand, but was there a better play you could have done at that time period?
Right here?
Yeah. Passing with 2 energy up.
Based on my hand, I don't believe so. I don't think I had any battle cards that were really relevant to cast. I think my best play was just to leave it open for defense, but I'm still getting used to the deck, so I could have made a misplay. Like, for example, I had the blocker Vegeta that's in my energy, where I could cast that there just to, even just have the blocker up, which I guess could have been relevant.
Yeah, just to have a body up, yeah. Here's the robotic, yep. And just like that, she's been floodgated. Although, to be honest, Hatch doesn't really care much about it. They're only really going to swing, what, once or twice against you, right?
Yeah, he's going to swing with the Unison, and then, maybe he plays a battle card to swing with. I was saying, in case it's a Cumber, let me just, try to buy a turn to chill him out. Because my hand wasn't amazing. There were some things I was trying to dig for.
Yeah. There's also the Z deck. I'm not sure what Z battle cards Hatchiyack got. That's pretty new. But I know there's the 1-drop Hercule that this deck runs, that you receive. And there's also the new 3-drop AOD Vegeta that just KOs anything ignoring barrier as well. So those are also plays. Those are also options for your deck as well. Looks like he's counting his drop, so maybe he's thinking about an Overwhelm. And that's another thing about Hatch. Because their leader just mills a top card of their deck, as soon as they awaken, they have so many cards in their drop for a nice big Overwhelm, right?
Yeah.
And this game has such good Overwhelms right now, so it's fantastic. So, oh wow, Smoke Dragon.
Yeah, this is the rare Smoke Dragon draw 2.
Draw 2, okay. Right, because you don't have a Unison, there's nothing with really barrier that really affects you. So I guess it makes sense. He has energy to use. He feels comfortable doing it, so he's just going to draw 2 cards, right? By the way, does this Goku Vegeta deck play a Unison?
Not in the main. We do side Unisons, but just Unison of Fury.
Okay.
That is the I'd probably make going forward.
Unison of Fury, yeah. That's actually a really good side deck card.
Yeah, that's a great card for the side. Definitely not mainable, but definitely good for the side. I'd like to toy with Gohans in the main because it's just a great thing, but I'm not at this point. I also was missing cards in the main deck, like the new Vegeta from the starter deck.
Majin Vegeta. Yeah, the card is fantastic.
So those are really good cards to play too.
And over here, he swings at the Goku Vegeta duo, the double striker, and you're protecting it, which makes sense, right? So double striker, it's really good, and it's got good stats. 20k is a good stat as well.
Yeah, and I want a Z Awaken. So like,
okay,
it's 4 life with 2 Z energies, so you can Z Awaken. So I want a combo, and because he's Hatch, I'm only going to get 1 battle card swing anyway. So I'd rather the 4-drop double striker than the riposte.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, do you remember the cards you actually sided in for this matchup?
I did. So I sided into Vegeta Unison of Fury. Didn't get them, unfortunately, yet.
Okay.
And I sided in Tyrannical Blow, which, in retrospect, was a mistake. You'll see why in a little bit, but
okay.
Those are what I sided against it.
Yeah, T-Blow is a great card, but doesn't hit everything in the format. Only hits something, I believe, is an energy cost of 3 or less, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I guess we'll see how that shapes up to be. So over here, you charge another Goku Vegeta duo. Yeah. So you charge another one. Are they unique? Do they have limit 1? Anything like that?
No, they have limit 1. Again, I charged it here just based on what was in my hand and the fact that there was nothing relevant on the board at this point that I wanted to try to wipe with it. So I believe here I'm swinging into the Unison because I want to get rid of that thing.
Right.
That thing it's 2+.
Yeah.
He has at this point a 14 card hand.
It's basically a 15k body and a draw 1 every single turn, and then worst case the Nimbus. And here comes a Floodgate, Oceanus. This card is so good, such a staple.
So that's where I misplay. So I thought T-Blow hits it because it reduces cost, right? So I can negate the skill. But the skill that makes me mill cards is the counter tech skill. So for anyone who doesn't know, I can't stop that unless I use a counter.
Okay, right. Because negating the skills doesn't work because you're not negating the counter effect itself, right? The counter play, the counter attack. Sorry, yeah. So T-Blow doesn't really help you in this case. The only card that would help you is Cooler over here to negate it, right?
Yeah. And Christian and I are friends, so we're in a local, so he did me a solid and said, "No, take it back. It's fine. It's important."
Yeah, of course. No, definitely.
So if I'm going to use the Cooler counter.
Okay. And that's 3 energy, so that's going to be a lot of energy you're investing to get rid of that double, to get rid of those 2 markers off that Unison.
It is. So I'm considering here the benefits of drawing the extra card off the leader,
right?
Killing the Unison. So I'm asking myself, is it worth it to kill the Unison, draw effective cards because I'm going to draw 1 off Cooler and then I'll draw 1 off leader,
right?
And kill the Unison.
Right. So here's the Cooler. Yeah. Also, Hatchiyack is tapped out now, right? So it's a little bit tougher for them to defend because they have no energy. They can't negate with their cards. Actually, he does have a sparking negate, the power burst. He just pitched it over there,
which I wasn't expecting. It's a good include by Christian. Wasn't expecting the card.
Yeah, sparking negates are always good. So here, using the Spirit Bomb effect, now you can place any battle card underneath, right?
Yep, any yellow battle card.
Any yellow battle card. Okay. So here you place another Vegeta.
I think I'm gonna rest his Black Mass Saiyan.
Okay.
Or I get to trigger it. Yeah. Again, new. I think I just forgot to trigger it.
Yeah, no worries. And you're swinging that leader, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So
and he's taking it. Yeah. So he's down to 5 life now, and you're 5 on 5 life. So you guys are tied. And here's the new card from set 20, Majin Buu. Wow, this card is so strong. Tell me about this card.
So you need to be a 4 energy, but it's a 1-drop 30k double striker. Like,
yeah, an 8-drop 1 energy. So yeah, I mean, if you are a 5 energy, with 1 energy for a Goku Vegeta and 1 energy for a Majin Buu, Cell Xeno would be live.
Exactly. Yeah. For 2, I'm building a Xeno.
Yeah.
And then I still have 3 up for Cooler, which is crazy.
Yeah. So over here, you swung double strike. He's sparking. Used the power burst. Now he's at 4 life, so his Vegeta super combos, if he's running them, are live. He's at 5 energy. He charges Meki, which is probably another side card he sided in. Meki is also a very strong card as well. And I guess he's deciding how he wants his turn to go out. But I think this is where we might see that infamous play that no one saw coming.
yeah, this is experience with the deck.
All right, and let's face it, no one thinks that. All right, I'm at 5 life. Hatchiyack is gonna kill me. Right, that usually doesn't happen. Right? This is Hatchiyack we're talking about.
That's I was like, I thought to myself when I tapped out, there is no way in hell Hatchiyack try to kill me this turn. So spoiler, he's gonna try to kill me this turn. So I think it'll be cool to watch.
Yeah, 100%. Honestly, I would say this was the highlight of the day. Just getting getting to record this because anytime you see new cards is great, but anytime you see new secret rares and new things like that, it's even better over here. So he's just deciding on if it's worth it, right? If it makes sense to play this card, if it makes sense for him to tap that energy. And it makes sense because, once again, Hatchiyack as a control deck, you really don't want to tap out on energy. Same with you as a yellow deck, you really don't want to tap out much on energy because you want to save your robotics for defense, you want to save your negates for defense, your Realm of the Gods, things like that. But I understand from your position, you were thinking, hey, Hatch really can't kill me. I think it's safe to tap out. I have a nice board. I have a couple of combos. And you also had your secret rare in your hand at that time, right?
Yes, I had my secret. Yep. So and then he just totally destroyed me with this.
この姿を見る。あえて言うなら、ゴールデンクーラー。
Yeah, so Cooler is a new secret rare from the new set. It's amazing.
It looks so good too.
Yeah, it's so pretty. So when it comes into play, I have to pick 5 cards in my hand that I keep. Everything else goes into my Z energy.
Okay.
Now, while you think that's a really good thing, like, oh wow, you just keep the negate the attack, you got all the Z energy to work with next turn. Not so much. Because Cooler's activate main is that he can discard 2 of my Z energy to restand himself.
Yeah, activate main and battle.
I'm sorry?
Activate main and battle.
Oh, true. Right. Yeah. So he has as many attacks as I have Z energy.
So if you have 10 cards in hand, he basically says, pitch 5. I am now a, like let's say you have 8 Z energy. I'm now a quadruple attacking double striker. Oh yeah, and I warp everything ignoring barrier. Oh yeah, and I'm 40k.
and I'm lethal. I'm double strike, so I'm
exactly. Yeah, this card is so busted. I've lost to this card as well. Yeah, this card is definitely one that a lot of people should look out for, and it's actually one of the more undervalued secret rares from this set. So if you haven't picked up a copy, I would definitely recommend picking it up. Games, right? When we talk about secret rares like Cell Xeno, we talk about secret rares like Beast Gohan, secret rares like Golden Cooler, right up there. These are secret rares that are going to win games. And we see...
there's the new Meta Cooler Negate. So here's my secret rare, which is why I felt confident. I was like, oh, well, with Piccolon in my hand and 5 life against Hatch, I felt like I'd be safe.
Right, right. And little did you know, hey, this is a new card Hatchiyack can run. And it's perfect because Hatchiyack, it was always a deck that struggled with killing people, right? And they can mill you out with Smoke Dragon. Maybe they can hand control you with SS4 Thwarting. But now they have a way to not only hand control you, but also to kill you. Just keep swinging. And every time he restands, he discards 2 of your Z energy. So at that point, do you remember how many Z energy you had?
Yeah, I had gone from 12 to 5, so I lost 7, and I already had 2, so I had 9 Z energy.
So he was swinging 4 times. Yeah, at this point, I think it's. I mean, even Piccolon can't save you, and that's crazy because Piccolon can get you out of most things, right?
Yeah, Piccolon. You think at Piccolon, you're like, oh wow, I want them to all in me because there's no way they're killing me.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's just gonna swing 40k double at me. You know, he has 2 more swings.
Yeah, and he's comboing hard. He's going really for game, and he's at 40, 50, 60.
Yeah. Another reason why tapping out was bad here, because for yellow, you know, there is a card, if you're not familiar, in yellow, Final Flash, where I could just negate it.
That's true, actually. Yeah, Final Flash would just negate Golden Cooler's all of its skills. Wouldn't be able to restand. Wouldn't have the double strike, and it it would actually save you this turn for sure.
Yeah. So to my people who love Vegeta, I apologize for.
But, no, it's okay. Hindsight's 2020. This is a great. I mean, look, it's your first time using the deck. Now you know what not to do.
But this is also a showcase to how strong Hatchiyack is, because forget all of this, right? Forget all what I could have done to stop him. Look at his hand. Look at what he's comboing. He had double negates, triple negates. He has 3 super combos. Like, even if I didn't do this, this would have been a grind. I don't know how I would have gotten through all this. Yeah,
and at this point, it's just I think it's pretty much a game. You scoop up over here, you just pack everything up. But yeah, wow, what a game! That Golden Cooler was incredible. So, thoughts on the side. So next time, let's say for example this was a best of 3, and let's say this was game 1, right? I'm curious to know, Anthony, what you would be siding into game 2, going into game 2 against this Black Hatchiyack.
So definitely the Unisons of Furies again. I sided it 2. I think 2 is still appropriate. I don't think you need to go 3. I think that's too much. But Black plays high costed cards for cheap, and early. So you definitely want to do Unison Fury. If I was to decide anything else, maybe more copies of Final Flash. Because that's going to be something they always do, as would be thwarting is their other big play.
You know, Abdul was telling me, and you know, obviously Abdul, we know Abdul's big, of course. No. Well, thank you so much, Anthony. Thank you so much, Frizz. I really appreciate it. Thanks for commentating. Yep, and hopefully we get to see you again in the future.
Sounds good, man. Thanks.
All right, bye-bye.